The Juicebox protocol helps people confidently run programmable and community-funded treasuries from startup to scale openly on Ethereum. Juicebox was created in order to provide a community-based model for funding projects. Juicebox can be used for anything from decentralized crowdfunding to a replacement for venture capital. What makes Juicebox unique is that contributors are rewarded with tokens, which can be configured to do all sorts of things. Juicebox projects can configure how tokens should be minted when a project receives money and under what conditions funds can be distributed or claimed by its community. A project's rules can evolve, allowing people to bootstrap open-ended projects and later add constraints and incentives as needed. The protocol is light enough for a group of friends, yet powerful enough for a global network of anons sharing thousands of ETH. In practice, a Juicebox project works like a crowdfunding campaign, but introduces a few new concepts. The first is the idea of a funding cycle. A funding cycle allows projects to set funding targets and raise funds on an ongoing basis. This is useful for projects which are not fundraising for a one-time goal, but instead require ongoing funding. Let's explore an example. The Example DAO is a decentralized autonomous organization with the purpose of developing and supporting the Example protocol. Example DAO has a funding cycle target of 5 ETH every 2 weeks, which is what Example DAO needs to pay their devs and cover costs. Contributors can fund the project with ETH and receive Example tokens in exchange. You believe in Example protocol and want to support the work of Example DAO because you believe it will have a positive impact. You decide to contribute 1 ETH. Example DAO has configured their project with a reserve rate of 5%. This means that 5% of Example tokens will go where they decide, leaving the remaining 95% to you, the contributor. We are currently in funding cycle 1, where a 1 ETH contribution yields 1 million Example tokens. Because 95% of those will go to you, your contribution of 1 ETH gets you 950,000 Example tokens. Juicebox projects can reward early contributors via a discount rate. The discount rate means that contributions in later funding cycles will be awarded fewer tokens per ETH contributed. Our friend contributes 1 ETH in funding cycle 2. Since Example DAO has a discount rate of 10%, our friend's contribution is initially worth 900,000 Example tokens. After the reserve rate of 5% is applied, our friend will receive 855,000 tokens. During funding cycle 2, 5 more people decide to contribute 1 ETH along with our friend. Now there is a total of 7 ETH in the project. The funding target for Example DAO is 5 ETH for this cycle. This is the amount that the project needs to fund their team's operation. This funding target limits the amount which the project's owner can withdraw during that funding cycle. The project had a funding target of 5 ETH and now has received 7 ETH. The extra 2 ETH will become overflow. Excess contributions become overflow, which can be claimed by contributors in exchange for burning project tokens. Burning tokens means that they are destroyed, taking them out of circulation permanently. Unclaimed overflow will be rolled over to the next funding cycle. Flash forward. We are now in funding cycle 5, and Example DAO has been super successful. The project is now earning more than its funding target each cycle, and regular overflow is being generated. Example DAO has 20 ETH in overflow this funding cycle. You are ready to redeem some of your project tokens for ETH. In order to receive ETH, you need to burn the tokens you received back in cycle 1. The rate at which tokens can be redeemed is affected by an additional factor, the redemption bonding curve. For Example DAO, the redemption rate is set to 90%. The redemption bonding curve means that as tokens are withdrawn, the value of the remaining tokens increases. This happens because when you redeem your tokens for ETH, you only get 90% of the overflow that they correspond to. The remaining 10% stays in the project, meaning that people who redeem their tokens later will receive slightly more ETH. You'll end up with slightly more than 90% of that value because of how the redemption rate is applied to the bonding curve. In mathematical terms, the curve is applied continuously. For simplicity's sake, you decided to redeem all 950,000 of your tokens, which correspond to 10% of the total supply of 9.5 million. There is 20 ETH in overflow. After applying the redemption bonding curve, you receive 1.802 ETH. Congratulations! To learn more about how these formulas are calculated, go to docs.juicebox.money. Juicebox empowers all kinds of organizations to create flexible, innovative funding models for a range of purposes. To learn more or to start your own Juicebox project, visit juicebox.money.